राम हरे हरे,
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, जय गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, जय गिरिवरधारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janvallabha Jaya Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jayo Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare.
Hare Krishna. So, very warm welcome to all of you for today's session on the Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll start our session with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya. Naranchaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeet Nashtaprayeshvabhatreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So we discussed in our previous session, Bhagwan Kapil explained about the importance of getting over or surpassing the platform of false ego and moving to the platform of real ego. Real ego means to know that I am part and parcel of Krishna and I am eternal, loving servitor of Krishna. And then Mother Devahuti, she asked a very important question. She asked that Purusham Prakriti Brahman Navimunchati Karhichit. So Prakriti and Purusha, they both are interrelated. Navimunchati, and very difficult for Purusha or spirit souls to come out of Prakriti. So how living entity can separate himself from Prakriti, separate himself from this material nature? So this is a very genuine question, and sometimes even the Mayavadis and the impersonalists, they talk on this subject matter, and they also have similar inquiries that Prakriti and Purusha are always eternally related to each other, but that's not true. We discussed in our previous session that Prakriti and Purusha are not eternally related. Prakriti and Purusha means ordinary living entities like the living entities in the material world. They are not eternally related. Living entities, we as spirit souls, we are marginal potency of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. And we being conditioned, I mean, the living entities, those tiny, minute living entities, because they are marginal potency of Krishna, they have the tendency to come in touch with material nature. So they can sometimes be under the influence of material nature. Material nature means the three modes of material nature, time element, all these comprise of this material nature. So living entities can sometimes be under the influence of material nature, and sometimes, I mean, when they become liberated, they can be under the influence of Yog Maya or spiritual energy of Krishna. This Krishna talks about in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivim prakriti mashrita. You see, what is Krishna saying? That Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivim prakriti mashrita. In the 9th chapter, the 13th shloka, Lord Krishna talks about it. He says that Arjun, those who are Mahatmas, they are dependent, they are surrendered to my Daivi Prakriti. Daivi Prakriti means Yog Maya, spiritual energy. Daivi Prakriti means spiritual potency or spiritual Prakriti or spiritual nature or spiritual energy of Krishna. Okay. So Mahatmanas to Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. So those who are Mahatmas, those who are pure devotees, they are always under the influence of spiritual nature of Krishna or Yog Maya of Krishna. Only few living entities from the spiritual world, they come under the influence of material energy of Krishna. And that too, it's not that eternally they will be under the influence of material energy. No. A time will come when they will get liberation. Okay. So this question which was asked by Mother Devahuti is very important because she is not just asking for herself, but she is asking for the whole universe, for all kinds of people. So today we'll begin our discussion with text 18, shloka number 18 of the 27th chapter of the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. यथा गंधस्य भूमेश्च न भावो व्यतिरेकतः अपामरसस्य च यथा तथा बुद्धे परस्य च यथा गंधस्य भूमेश्च न भावो व्यतिरेकतः अपामरसस्य च यथा तथा बुद्धे परस्य च. Translation: as there is no separate existence of the earth and its aroma, or of water and its taste, so there cannot be any separate existence of intelligence and consciousness. So very beautiful analogy is given here by Mother Devahuti. She is saying that, so just like in the previous shloka, she said that material nature and living entity, they both are interrelated. How can they be separated? That's what she is asking. How living entity can become separated from material nature? Right? That is what she is asking. And then now here she is giving analogy also. What is she saying? Yatha gandhasya bhumishya. Just like gandha and bhumi. Bhumi means earth. In the previous few chapters, we have been discussing about these elements of creation and how these different elements of creation, they are related to the sense objects. So just like earth is related to the sense object called smell, or you can say gandha, and the sense which correlates to them is the nostrils, right? So Mother Devahuti, she is saying that there is no separate existence of earth and aroma. That means whenever we have earth, there will be aroma. They both can't exist separately. Then she gives another example. She gives na bhavo vyati rekataha. So she's saying na bhavo, there is no bhav, there is no value or separate existence or separate value of earth and aroma or earth and uh, smell. They both can't exist separately. Wherever there will be earth element, there will be aroma or smell or odor. So they can't exist separately. So she gives another example. She gives apam rasasya chayatha, and water and ras. Ras means taste. They also always exist together. Water and taste cannot be separated. Okay. And then she concludes by saying that therefore, buddhe parasya cha, intelligence and buddhe parasya cha. Parasya means the living entity or consciousness or spirit soul. So she's saying that, and therefore buddhi and the spirit soul or intelligence and the spirit soul cannot be separated. So yeah, because her question forms the basis for Bhagavan Kapil to counter this impersonalist philosophy or voidist philosophy, or you can say Mayavad philosophy. So the questions asked by Mother Devahuti, they'll form the foundation for Bhagavan Kapil to explain these secrets about the spirit soul and the living entity and his relationship with Prakriti. So that's what she is asking here in this shloka. She is saying that just like earth and aroma cannot be separated, just like water and taste cannot be separated, and similarly, intelligence and spirit soul cannot be separated. Now, text 19, shloka number 19. अकर्तुः कर्म बंधोऽयं पुरुषस्य यदाश्रयः गुणेषु सत्सु प्रकृतेः कैवल्यं तेष्वतः कथम्. अकर्तुः कर्म बंधोऽयं पुरुषस्य यदाश्रयः गुणेषु सत्सु प्रकृतेः कैवल्यं तेष्वतः कथम्. Translation. Hence, even though he is the passive performer of all activities, how can there be freedom for the soul as long as material nature acts on him and binds him? So, now Mother Devahuti, she is asking about the condition of living entity in the material world. And she's saying that if in the material world living entity is acting like that, how can the living entity act differently? How can he act differently in the spiritual creation? So now she is saying that akartu means living entity is the non-doer. He does not do anything. He is non-performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He is non performer. In the material world, he does not do anything. He then how things are happening? If living entity does not do anything, then how is this world moving? How is everything running around? How uh, we see big buildings, skyscrapers, aircrafts, space shuttles, rockets, launchers, missiles. If living entity is not the doer, then how these things are taking place? Okay. So Akartuh, so Mother Devahuti, she is saying that living entity or spirit soul, he is Akartu, he is non-doer, he does not do anything, he is passive. Karma bandhoyam. And she is saying that the living entity, he does not do anything. So if you remember, in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, in the 27th shloka of the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna talks about it. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणै कर्माणि सर्वश अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा करता हमिति मन्यते. You see, living entity, he loses his existence, he loses his power, he loses his strength to do anything when he comes in touch with material energy, because material energy takes over. If you remember, I have always given example of living entity on the land and living entity when he enters the ocean. When a living entity is on land, he can work, he can do whatever he wants. But as soon as the living entity enters water or ocean, he has no control, because then he is completely controlled by the ocean. Okay. So the living entity, he loses his ability to control when he enters into this material nature. Because the material nature starts acting on him. The three modes. That's what Krishna is saying in the third chapter, the 27th shloka. Prakriti kriyamanani guna karmani sarvasha. It's Prakriti which is making the living entity work. Living entities are working. It looks as if they are working very hard, but actually no. They are being made to work. It looks like they are working because of this material nature or the three modes of material nature. So three modes of material nature, they create an illusion of activity in this material world. The three modes of material nature, they create an illusion of action in the material world. Okay. So that is why Mother Devahuti is saying that akartu karma bandhoyam. So living entity is akartu, he cannot do anything. Everything is done by the material nature. That's what she is asking. Purushasya yadashrayah. गुणेषु सत्सु प्रकृते akartu karma bandhoyam purushasya. So Mother Devhuti is saying that a living entity, purushasya means living entity. A living entity, he does not act. He cannot act in the material world, and that is why yadashraya, and why he is not able to act properly in the material world, because of his attachment to the three modes, because of his attachment to matter, material conditioning. So that's why he comes under the influence of the three modes of material nature. And as soon as a living entity comes under the influence of the three modes of material nature, his original potency to act ceases. And then material energy takes over. Material nature starts working with respect to the three modes. Okay. So that's what Mother Devahuti is asking. That if a living entity, he is not a performer, he does not act in this material world according to his own ability. Guneshu satsu prakrite. And and all this is happening because of Guneshu satsu prakrite. This is all happening because of the three modes and the material nature. That is why living entity is helpless. He cannot do anything. Kevalam te shata katham. So then she is asking, then how liberation is possible? If living entity is so much dependent on material nature to act, every living entity is under the subject of the three modes of the material nature. They are subjugated under the influence of the three modes. Then how is it possible that they can get liberation from material modes? That is his question. That is her question to Bhagwan Kapil. So this we need to understand these are very important points which are mentioned by Mother Devahuti. Now, who is Mother Devahuti? She is the most brilliant and the most intelligent, the most devoted woman in the whole creation. There is no one like Mother Devahuti. Just imagine, she is the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. She is the daughter of Manu. So her each and every word what she is speaking is very, very important. So this is the question she is asking. That living entity loses his position, loses his control, loses his everything when he comes in touch with the three modes of material nature. And three modes of material nature, they fully control the living entity. So this is a very genuine question by Mother Devahuti. That if living entity is always under the influence of Bhagwan Kapil, under the influence of the three modes, and ultimately everything is controlled by Bhagwan Kapil only, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But who better person than Bhagwan Kapil who can answer these questions? Because this whole creation is created by Krishna. So only Krishna can answer these questions. So an illusion of activity is created, and living entity falls into that trap because of lack of divine knowledge. Because as soon as the living entity enters into this material creation, what happens? Avidya Shakti starts. Avidya means divine knowledge is removed from the heart. Now again, that divine knowledge is revived by the words of the spiritual master. that revival of divine knowledge happens by the mercy of the spiritual master. That divine knowledge which the living entity forgot as soon as he entered into this material existence is again revived when the living entity meets his spiritual master or guru. That is why no one can ever repay the debt of spiritual master. The greatest debt on us is the debt of guru. No one can repay the debt of guru. So that avidya, Shakti, which starts acting, in the beginning only living entity forgets himself. So if living entity forgets himself, how will he control? How will things be under his control? And if things are not under his control, how will he get liberation? Why will Prakriti give the living entity liberation? Just like you take example of a dream. You are sleeping and you are dreaming. So till you are awake, you have things under your control. You can move your hand freely. You can move your legs freely. If you are hungry, you can go and pick something and eat something. But when you are in dream, when you are in sleep, then do you have anything under your control? No. Then nothing is under the control of the living entity. Right? So this is what Mother Devahuti is asking. Very important question. Now text 20, shloka number 20. Kvachit tattvamamarshena nivrittam bhayamulbanam anivritta nimittattvat punah pratyavatisthate. Kvachit tattvamamarshena nivrittam bhayamash ulbanam anivritta nimittattvat punah pratyavatisthate. Translation. Even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principles, still it may appear again since its cause has not ceased. Now you see. So Mother Devahuti again, she is asking that kvachit tattva avamarshena. Tattva avamarsha. Marsh means to contemplate, to speculate. Nivrittam bhayamulvanam. Temporarily, a person may start to think that, oh, he is not under the control of material nature. So artificially, a person may think like that. And sometimes he may get little a living entity may train his mind, or he may start to, for example, if a living entity or a human being, he starts to simply chant that I am not dependent on this material nature, I am not dependent. Will he not be dependent? No. Simply by thinking that you are not dependent on material nature, will it help? No. That's what Mother Devahuti is asking. She is saying that if by mental speculation somehow a living entity may think that he is not under the influence of the three modes, anivritta nimittatvat, temporarily he may think that I am not under the influence of the three modes of material nature. I am supreme, I am God. So that's what Mayavadis do, no? That's what they think. that I am God, I control this material nature. And next moment they are kicked by material nature and they are thrown out of their body. Right? But those who are Vaishnavas, those who are devotees of Krishna, they know that this material energy is also Krishna's energy. And mame viye prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. The only way to transcend this material nature is to take shelter of Krishna. By mental speculation, a person may artificially think that he is God. But will he become God by speculation? No. No one can become God by speculation. No one can become God. First of all, we need to understand that no one can become God. God is God under all circumstances. No one can become God. No one can become God by doing tapasya, by performing austerities, penances, by chanting, by severe hard work. No. Right? So that's what Mother Devahuti is saying here. That a person may start thinking mentally that he has transcended this material nature. But again, a time will come when material nature will kick him. And again, he will fall down into this material existence. So then what is the solution? How will the living entity get liberation? So we know through Bhagavad Gita, we know through the Bhagavatam that the only solution is to surrender to Krishna, to become a menial servant of Krishna, and to serve Krishna faithfully and to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and to engage in loving devotional service to Krishna. That is the solution. But anyways, Mother Devahuti, here she is asking these inquiries about Mayavadis, about impersonalists, about these people who have no understanding of bhakti. So she is asking for them that what is the solution? How will a living entity get liberation? So very important questions asked by Mother Devahuti, that how will a living entity get liberation? Because he is constantly under the control of material nature. And will material nature give him liberation? What is the solution? On his own strength, a living entity cannot get liberation. So how to go about it? That's what Mother Devahuti is asking. Very important question. These are fundamental questions which are asked by Mother Devahuti. And generally people, they also think like this, especially the Mayavadis and materialistic people, they think like this. So she is asking for all of them. And now Bhagavan Kapil will start to answer these questions to Mother Devahuti. So that will begin from the next session. Those who are new to the channel can subscribe. All of you can like, comment, share. We'll stop here. We'll continue our discussion in the next session. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.